Today I want to show you a wonderful wellness and health hack that is going to make your hands feel fantastic. We all ignore our hands and neglect our hands. This is a nice, easy way to do something great, and it's going to feel wonderful. Now, you're in my bathroom, and I want you to stay to the end of this video because there's a reason we're in my bathroom while we're doing this. But this is my actual setup, and I'm going to introduce you to a paraffin bath. And a paraffin bath is just a little container of melted paraffin wax. And we've used it for years in physical therapy clinics for people with hand arthritis and pain. But soon we discovered, hey, this is pretty darn good in general, especially in the cooler months. If the mornings are cool and you're cold and your hands feel stiff and your hands are dry, this is an absolutely wonderful thing for you to do. But I want to show you exactly how you should use one of these things. Now, they're not that expensive. I put a link in the description below of the one that I recommend, the one that I use, and it'll be great if you want to try one to click on that link and get it. I think I make $2 when you do it, so that would be helpful. Rule number one, take off all jewelry, watches, rings, anything that's on your hand. You don't want anything on there. Number two, you don't want anything on there, including dirt. So now we're going to wash our hands. And I want you to take a good bit of time making sure you really wash your hands very well. I would have washed them a little bit better than that. And what that does is that gets rid of skin, dirt, anything that's on there, because anything that you put in the paraffin bath could get into it, and then it'll accumulate at the bottom of the paraffin, and then you develop little sludge at the bottom, and we don't want that. So this thing has been on. You have to preheat it. It takes a couple hours because the paraffin actually comes in like a block of wax. And the heating element of the container will melt it and make it look all liquidy. Let's see what that looks like. So I'm going to open up the lid. And it looks like water, doesn't it? And it's about, 110, 115 degrees. So this is definitely going to feel warm. The other things that come with it are plastic bags and mitts. And I'm going to show you how we use those and how I kind of cheat sometimes. And this is how it works. You take your hand, and you really don't want to, once you put it in there, you don't want to move your hand around. And what you'll do is you'll simply put your hand in there all the way up to your wrist, and you'll go, yeah, that's warm. Yes, it feels warm, but that's okay. You're going to hold it in there just for a second or two, and then you're going to come out. Here is a key point. That's not enough. You're going to want to hold this here for maybe 5-6 seconds until this first layer gets cloudy, opaque, and starts to cool. And then what you're going to do is you're going to go and dip again. Now you're going to put an extra layer on. This is like Mexican 7-layer dip, only it's paraffin. And you'll know when it's done because it gets less shiny, it gets kind of cloudy. You can see that. Look, there's a little spot on my palm that doesn't quite get it, so I'm going to actually do this. I want to cover that crack up, right? And that's why you don't want to move your hand once you start dipping. Once you start dipping your hand, you want to kind of keep it pretty stable, pretty immobile, because you don't want to create a crack in there, because it's almost like starting over. Now, how many times do you do this? We generally do it 7 or 8 times. 7 or 8 times. I mean, I'm sure you can go 30 if you wanted to, but who wants to do that? You'd have a huge looking mitt. You'd look like a polar bear. All right, so I would have done probably 2 or 3 more layers, but I'm going to stop there. Now I'm going to take a plastic bag. Now, these units usually come with a number of bags that are tailor-made. They're like, I'm going to say there's like, you'll get 25 of them in a container, and you can buy these separately. But the cheat code is that you can just use any old plastic bag you want. And sometimes, well, I'll tell you later. So I'm gonna put my hand in there. I'm gonna wrap this bad boy up. And I put the plastic bag on there so that it doesn't stick to what I'm gonna put in next, which is the mitt. Then you put the mitt in. Now, you wear the mitt because this further insulates that heat, that keeps the heat in the hand. I will admit, sometimes when you're in a rush, you don't bother putting the mitt on. Sometimes you don't even bother putting the plastic bag on. You just kind of stay there and you have things to do. But this is the ideal way to do it. Now, comes with two. So yes, you can do two. You can do two at once, but you better have somebody with you because you really can't do both hands by yourself. And then you just sit there for about 15 minutes until it no longer feels warm. Now, this is the part where you enjoy it. Now you're done. Right? So now we're done. And this is the fun part. And that is you just take your finger and you start up here and you start pushing this wax down. And you'll notice that I'm a hairy guy, but it doesn't stick to my hair. And some people find this weirdly fun and soothing to slip this paraffin off your hands. And then what I do, I get it in a bowl and I gently put it back in. I don't throw it in because guess what's going to happen? That's going to splash up on me and then I'm in trouble. So I'm just going to let it go there, put it back in. You see the ball floating in the paraffin. You return the lid, and the next time you use it, it'll be as good as new. Now, you're still not done. Yes. Now you rub that paraffin into your hands, both of them. You get that nice soothing feeling, and this usually come with a little bit of a scent to them. You can choose whatever scent you want, but this really does feel good, and it's a good time for you to do a little self-massage to your hands. Get inside the thumb space, get in between those fingers, stretch it out. Why am I doing this in the bathroom, though? Well, I'm doing this in the bathroom because I want you to tie this to a habit that you do all the time. And I pretty much can guarantee that you go to the bathroom almost every day. So if I put this in my bathroom, and whenever I walk into this bathroom, I see my paraffin bath, and it reminds me that it's here. If I keep this in the closet or under the cabinet or somewhere that I can't see it, I'm going to forget it. I'm not going to keep it plugged in, and I'm not going to use it. So that's why you put it in a spot, and really, bathroom is ideal if you can do it. Now that your hands are warmed up, what's the next thing you should do? Well, you should probably do some hand strengthening exercises. So if you click on this picture above me, I think it's about here, you'll see my next video on strengthening exercises that are easy to do for your hands that you can do at home, no special equipment. So click up here and let's learn some more.